Up until recently, the company Fosi Audio has mainly been known for miniature amplifiers for home audio, from anything from monoblocks to stereo amplifiers to 3-channel, also preamplifiers and headphone amps, all kind of cool stuff like that. We've shown multiples of these before. Check links in the video description if you want to see those videos. And they've been known for, getting a lot for your money. They have high quality components, they're relatively inexpensive, and been very popular. Fast forward to February of 2026, and Fosi Audio has introduced their very first car audio amplifier, the CA30, which we're going to unbox here and show you what's in the package, and we'll talk about all the features and specs. First up, you will get high-level input, a couple of Allen's keys, as well as the mounting screws. In addition to that, you pretty much get a manual which covers the CA30. It talks all about the features and the connections and all that in multiple different languages. And again, we'll get to the specs here in just a minute. And then we have the amplifier. As you can see here, very compact, fits in the palm of your hand pretty easily. And let's get to the additional features. This is a 4-channel amplifier, Class D, but as far as the measurements go, it's only 7¼ inches long by 4 inches wide by 1.75 inches tall. Millimeter equivalents are there as well. Yes, this amp should fit virtually anywhere under seats and glove boxes, pretty much anywhere. Let's talk about the different features of the amp. First off, you'll notice here on the front we have channels 1 and 2 settings. This includes the crossover, the frequency, as well as the gain. This does have a low pass, full range, or high pass. Channels 3 and 4 mimic the channels 1 and 2, the same exact settings. We have status LEDs for clip, power, and protect. Also below that, we have the high-level inputs, and of course the adapter is included for your high level from speaker levels up to 8 volts of input. What I'll say right off the bat is I appreciate the ability to do high pass and low pass for all the channels, whereas typically small amps like this only do high pass on the front 2 channels and then low pass or high pass on the rear channels. Now additionally, as we move down, we have RCA inputs. These are standard RCA jacks for channels 1 through 4. There is no 2-channel switch to be able to use 2 inputs instead of 4, and we will talk about that later because that's always a feature I like to see on a 4-channel amp. That way you can only feed it 2 channels and get all 4 channels out. In this case, you do have to feed all 4 channels. As we look at the opposite side of the amp, you notice we have some beefy terminals here, 4 gauge for the power and ground. Then we have 12 gauge for the remote terminal. These are angle terminals. They're very nice with the insert feature. It does help to give about 3/4 of an inch of wire to be able to use connectors like this. We also have the speaker outputs. These are 12 gauge for channels 1 through 4. The amplifier is bridgeable to 2, 3, or 4 channels. And yeah, we like these type of inputs. The only thing that's a little frustrating is there's 2 different size of Allen keys that you need to operate this amp. That's not really unusual. As far as the ratings, 4-channel mode, 100 watts by 4 at 4 ohms, 160 by 4 at 2 ohms, or bridge 320 watts by 2 at 4 ohms. Now we have the amp all connected up and it's fired up. You can see there the blue LED. Let's fire up the amp dyno so we can do the test here. If you haven't seen these before, on the left you'll see the power output in watts, in the middle the ohm load. On the right, the voltage of the dyno. Will also have a remote clamp so we can estimate the amplifier's efficiency. Now this is a 4-channel amp. We're going to be testing in 4-channel mode first, and we're going to have 2 channels connected to the dyno. The other 2 will be connected to resistors at the same ohm load. First up, 4 ohm load, test at 1 kilohertz, rated 100 watts by 4. Let's try the certified test. 1% distortion. The ratings are at 14.4. We're just a little bit below 14.4, and we get 99 watts times 4. So right at the rated power. They definitely don't underrate these, but they rate them exactly pretty much what they give out. Now dynamically sends a pulse tone, 1 kilohertz in this case, to the amplifier, and you can see about 105 watts per channels on average at 14.34. 2 ohms, the amp is rated 160 by 4 at 14.4. 1 kilohertz track, certified, takes us up to 1% distortion. Can we get the 160? Not quite. Right about 149 watts per channel, 14.26. Again, another couple tenths of a volt will probably get that, no problem. Dynamically, we get well above the 160 watts before it's rated more like 195 watts times 4 at 14.32. Next up, let's go to 2-channel mode. We'll bridge the amplifier, and a way to do this is use the outer terminals, the left positive and the right negative. We'll do that for both channels 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. It is rated 320 watts by 2 at 14.4 volts. Again, 1 kilohertz is our test signal. And here we go, certified to 1% distortion, and there you go. Pretty much with the average, we get about 323 watts times 2. So it definitely does its rated power. And then dynamically, we'll send a pulse tone of 1 kilohertz into the amp. Once again, we're easily getting more like 395 by 2, which is crazy, at 14.3 volts. Now overall, you can see all the different results here of all the tests we did, and as well as the efficiencies, 80% at 4 ohms, 70% at 2 ohms, and then you can see the bridge ones a little bit higher there. But overall, the amplifier performed about as expected. Now for the sound playback here, I do have a treat for you guys. I'm going to show you the Audio Source EQ1. This is the same equalizer that was in the movie Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and we just have it hooked up to the RCA's out on the head unit so we can show it to you. I know I already stated it, but again, this is just for visual appeal. It's not in the signal chain, so it's not going to affect what you actually hear here. But again, we're listening on YouTube, and you're listening through who knows what device, so it's not really the same anyway, but just have fun listening.
Hitting that dash, just ride. 96 in the deck, let it ride, let it ride. Got that Alpine glow, green lights on the face. Sony in the trunk, whole block feel the bass. Sound stream, amps hum, chrome logo gleam. Kicker cones flex, make the rear view lean. Orion on the rack, wise braided in gold. Urban audio caps, keep the voltage cold. Rock with dark shade, neighbors know my route. Precision power pushing every watt out.
System bumping 1996. CD changes, load up the hits. Removable faceplate sliding click. Subwoofer slam that West Coast mix.
2-channel mode is fun, but let's add the 6.5-inch subwoofer and see if it bump. Do. I don't always talk about sound quality because it is subjective, but to my ears, this one sounded great. Very low noise floor as a promise, and I can tell because I didn't have any hiss at all coming out of the speakers. Now let's take this thing apart so we can find out what's inside. And of course, if you blow your fuses, there are 30 amp fuses and they are inside. So you will have to take this thing apart, which we'll get to that when we get to the cons. If you do have an issue with the amp not coming on, then it's possible that these micro fuses inside have blown. So you have to take off 4 off each end. You have to take off 2 off each side and 2 off the bottom. Then you can slide the whole amplifier board out. And here we're taking a closer look at it. As you can see, we got heat sinks on either side. We'll show that off here in a minute. You see the caps there at the top. There's more caps there for the outputs. But as far as for the outputs, we have 35 volt 1500 microfarad cap tops. I was hoping for better quality capacitors, to be honest. 16 volt 4700 microfarad there for the power supply section. We have the C4558. That's your audio op amps. And then here we'll just fly through here and you can see some of the other chips, including the Infineon 4322M. These are Class D chips. There's 2 of them in the amp. Each of them is rated 100 watts by 2. Of course, the amp is rated 100 watts by 4 because there's 2 chips. Also, here are the transistors, the TSB 3205Bs, and here are the 30 amp micro size ATC style fuses, which again, if these blow, you're going to have to take the amplifier apart to get to them. That's kind of a bummer. I understand why they did it, because they really didn't have any room on the outside of the amp to put these. But yeah, that could be a problem. Now let's talk about the pros and cons of the Fosi Audio CA30, their first car audio amp. First up, the good stuff. It has 2, 3, or 4 channels of output. It has a very small footprint, 4 gauge inputs for power and ground, insert terminals for all the connections, high pass and low pass crossovers, which also can run full range, high and low level inputs, extremely low noise floor, and it sounds great to my ears. Of course, I'm more than 50 years old, so don't take my opinion on that. Now, cons, things to consider: it does require 4 channels of input, has no Tiffany style RCAs, it has plain looks. I mean, it's very basic looking. The fuses are inside, we've already talked about that. And yeah, the capacitors, we'd much rather see Elena's or Nichicons or some other brand like that. Unfortunately, at the time of this video, as I was finishing editing it up, I did not have access to the pricing, so I'm not able to tell you what that is, but I will leave links below. The amp is actually going to release worldwide, I think, a couple days after my video goes live. And as always on my channel, this is an independent review. It was not sponsored by Fosi Audio. And again, unless I specifically say that something is sponsored, which it rarely ever is, all my reviews are independent, so you can appreciate that I'm giving you my thoughts 100%. And I appreciate you guys as always, so make sure you smash me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. It's free if you want to. And thanks as always. So next time, Big D, I'm out of here. This Fosi CA30 is not designed for 2 ohm test bridge. That's 1 ohm per channel. We're going to try it dynamically though and see if it actually works or goes into protect. Again, not recommended. We're just trying it here.
No way.
Well, there you go. Oh Lord, over 1,300 watts from this tiny little amplifier. Holy moly. That's pretty crazy. I was not expecting that.